Hello there, beautiful souls, beautiful humans. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Manifesting Star Peace Utopia. Whether you're joining me here on the closed group, which is the Facebook group where I bring my community in, or whether you're joining me from YouTube when you catch this a little bit later. Hello, welcome to what I feel is an incredibly powerful time for starseeds, light workers, really all of us who are the co-creators, the leaders, the energizers, and the builders of the new Earth paradigm that I call Paradise Earth. So if you're new to me, I am RozyGlow Hannis. I am a psychic soul coach. I am the founder of the Star Peace Movement. I am here to bring the message of peace to this planet and to activate in each of us the awareness, the codes that are there to help us remember we came here as starseeds on a volunteer mission to actually bring these higher frequency codes to this planet at this time and to anchor these codes into the core of the earth. They're already here, but they've needed reactivating and they've needed to be embodied through us. So we actually live by example and we resonate at the frequency of the new earth paradigm. So if you're liking the sound of this and you desire to energize this, then thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hitting the like, the love. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing this, because it's getting the message far and wide that is key. And you know, with anything new, there's usually a lot of opposition. There's a lot of resistance before actually the message is taken on. And 4 years ago now, I received the message that in our universe, the light had actually won, and the Intergalactic Super Federation had actually voted for peace in our universe, and therefore to collapse the old paradigm of duality and to activate the paradigm of oneness. So guess what? For us to really experience this here on Earth, the key is that we do the same in ourselves. And that is the invitation of this solar eclipse in Libra. It is actually the clearing of the karmic ties and bonds that actually have kept us locked into that 3D density, the fear-mongering, the control, the judgment, the duality, and all of the contracts that have kept us looping, if you like, in a undesired reality when we're seeking to activate and embed the divine matrix codes in our reality and to live the Thrive paradigm. All these things that have kept hooking into us and dragging us down into the survival paradigm, the fear-based matrix, they're all coming out now. This is the time, it's the clearing. So just to recap, if you haven't yet caught up with what I was saying regarding the last full moon and the last new moon, we had a full moon in Pisces, and I was really seeing this as the basically the start of the next axis of the north and south nodes was with the new moon in Virgo. Okay, now we're in a new moon in Libra that's coming literally in a few hours' time. But the new moon in Virgo was the start of this axis, of the new axis, which I'll go into in a moment. But the Pisces full moon was a clearing. It was a huge clearing to prepare for this solar eclipse. And it was a super moon as well. So what I was given direct guidance around, this is not stuff I read anywhere else. It's just what comes through my guidance system to support those who are ready to really embody these star peace codes, to act as if, to believe before they see. That's what we're being called to do. And you know what? I know we all want to do it, but when we're faced with one fucking shitty thing after another happening, it can be really difficult to hold the line and to have that faith that actually everything is reorganizing itself to align with our highest self-consciousness, not our ego programming. And that's what this is all about, my friends. So the cleanse that occurred was actually in the astral plane. And there was a huge clearing, and it's actually still going on. So you may find yourself sort of battling a little bit with substances, behaviors, patterns of belief that you know you really want to let go of, but there's still some kind of attachment to them. So there's this tug of war that's kind of been going on, and don't worry about it. It is all happening. Like, imagine that the item of clothing that is, how can I put this in the best possible way? Imagine that there's going to be as many cycles of washing required to get the deepest stains out of the fabric of our consciousness, out of the fabric of our being, out of the pattern of our reality. Okay, so for those of us who have sought to shift from surviving to thriving, we're going to be seeing again and again and again where we're buying into surviving and not plugging into thriving, and where those old wounds, marks, scars kind of show up and go, you know what, are you sure you don't want to believe this? This has happened before. If you dare try to change things, this is what's going to happen again. So there's like an internal thing that is about, I'm using the word battle, but it's more about a transmutation of the density into light. So every time these negative voices, or every time these limiting beliefs, or every time these behaviors that you know are thwarting you rather than supporting your highest good come up, the invitation is to bring more light, more compassion, more forgiveness, more acceptance to self. And that is what is allowing us to clear fully the astral plane of all of the souls that haven't moved on to the light. What they've done is they've stayed in the astral plane and sought to attach to those humans that have a how can I put it? What's the right word? Not propensity, but have an interest in the same sort of habits that they were attached to. So let's just say someone died and they were a really deeply committed smoker. They smoked till the end. They loved their smoking so much that they refused to go to the light because they don't want to let go of their smoking habit. So then when they get a reasonable or a suitable host on the earth plane, that they can go, oh, well, you know what? Oh, that person smokes and enjoys smoking the same way I do. I'll just hook into them and I'll feed off their smoking habit. That's what's been going on. And you will have heard other spiritual teachers and doctrines talk about this. Now, it relates to our first energetic body beyond the physical, which is the etheric body. And this was, again, what was coming out. And it's very important we understand this so we see where we are and what's happening with this solar eclipse. Because with that lunar eclipse, all of that density was coming up. And it was like an opportunity for a cosmic vacuum cleaner to come and basically draw all of those spirits, all of those souls that were still very much attached to their earthly pleasures into the light, so they can discover, oh my gosh, it's so much better here. I don't even feel like I want those things anymore. Oh, I feel great. This is amazing. Why was I so attached? Right? It's like, just come this way, track the beam, come this way. And what that then has allowed is, for those of us who are in the physical realm, let's just face it, like we're living in a world where there's a lot of environmental pollutants. There's also the pollutants we put on our bodies and in our bodies. Now, there's still a sort of a 3D, 4D search for magic bullet cures to dis-ease, not recognizing that really what we put on and in our bodies and the way we think about things and the way we perceive the world are all kind of working together to either create more sickness or more well-being. Now, please do not take from this that I'm saying that we're all here and meant to be sort of living the purest puritanical lifestyle. I really do believe we're here to enjoy the earthly pleasures. We're here to enjoy what you can only enjoy through the flesh. You can't enjoy in the non-physical realms, but we're also here to do so in such a way where we're not attached to any of these things. Now, physical pleasures is one thing, beliefs that thwart us and limit us, expectations that keep us looping in cycles that are unpleasant. That's rewiring and reprocessing that needs to happen. So with the solar eclipse that's coming up now, in relation to what I was saying about the etheric body, what has been happening is the etheric body has been replicating according to the latest cell replication of our physical bodies, rather than actually replicating according to the stem cells or the original norm of creation of the cells being in perfect health and harmony. Now, from the perspective that I teach, I say, look, we are all, not survivors, we're winners, right? We've all got here through all the aeons of time. How many times humanity was wiped out or nearly wiped out through the different cycles that at least 6 or 7 have taken place so far in our life, in all of like time's history, depending on who you tune into and what you listen to. The cataclysmic events have meant that humanity's kind of been knocked back many times, advanced civilizations coming back to Neanderthal energy and, really evolving very, very slowly. And what I'm talking about when I say the norm of creation is the perfect cell creation from way, way back, when whatever brought us to be physical beings, whether we merged with, animals from this planet and we had extraterrestrial kind of merging going on, whatever actually happened at that time, whether we just came and landed and, changed form over time through the density of this planet, we have been distorted through time, but that origin, the blueprint of the original human, the advanced civilization human, the divine human, those codes are, if you like, the original stem cells for the humanity that is creating the new earth, paradise earth, the new paradise earth. So we've been given this opportunity to wipe the slate through the aeons of time, to bring us into a remembrance of that cell perfection, the norm of creation, the divine human, not the ego-driven human. But for so long, the etheric body has been replicating according to the ego-driven human, which is the survival programming. Okay. And what that has ended up meaning is that we've just got sicker and sicker, not just personally, not just individually, but as a collective consciousness. And you know, we come to the point now that we just don't believe things can be any different. And that's the saddest thing. It's like, if we believe things can't change, they can't. But if we believe things can, they do. So what is this solar eclipse about? Well, it is the end of these karmic ties. It is the ring of fire. It is the birth of the divine human, the new earth divine human, the birth of the thrive paradigm, the birth of the human that's wired to thrive rather than survive, the birth of peace on earth and star peace versus star wars. And I use these verses just to kind of explain where we've gone from and where we're going to, but they're the higher and lower octave, right? In a dualistic reality, we have, we need polarity. We don't need duality per se, but we need the polar opposites to hold everything in form. What is important and part of our evolution now, so that we evolve beyond the struggle, the lack, the survival, the ego programming, is that we are able to accept that both are required without actually judging one as good or as bad. So if we use the example, for example, of celebration and joy being the higher octave of grief and sadness, right? We require both to have the experience of one, right? The other needs to be there in order for us to have the contrast. But, you know, one might be more pleasant to experience than the other. But the important thing is to remember that one can't exist without the other, right? The shadow and the light is required. It's just we get so caught up in judging and trying to control and manipulate so that we don't feel things that are uncomfortable. Just imagine if you no longer feared it. Pain, suffering, lack. If you no longer feared it because you knew exactly how to deal with it. Well, this is the invitation. This is what we're moving into. And it has a huge impact also on moving from fatalistic concepts that our story is completely written. There is nothing we can change. Even genetic determinism is a great example of this. And actually learning that that's not the way it is. The way we've been taught things are is not the way that they actually are. And this is the mass awakening for humanity. This is actually what we're celebrating now, as this is the final eclipse in 2024. Okay, this final one in Libra is the last one in 2024. And then we come into a new axis, which is the Virgo Pisces axis. And that's all about Shiva and Shakti. It's all about how we create from our masculine and feminine in balance. Now, for so long, those of us who've been interested in co-creating our reality, those of us who realize we have an impact on our environment through our perception of our environment, we have an impact on our health through our expectations and through our subconscious programming, and that there is a lot we can do to actually shift from where we are to where we want to be. Not everything is in our power. But as we raise our frequency and integrate shadow and light, this is where we hold the new frequency and everything else rearranges around us. So this is the invitation. And what I'm seeing happening with this energy is we're coming into the new moon, and then we have the next full moon in Aries, is that we are allowing ourselves to really believe it's not just possible, but it's inevitable. Okay, the shifts that we seek are not just possible, they are inevitable. So when we come back again to this idea that we realize we are able to influence our environment through our perception, then what is being cleared presently is the old perception filters that keep us buying into the idea that we don't have control, that actually just about everything is predetermined, that we don't have a say in how things pan out, that actually we're a victim to circumstance, right? So there is a big clearing, and it continues to happen, of victim consciousness, because when we feel like we're powerless, that's really the reality we're going to have. And there's nothing like being put in a situation where you feel powerless to discover your power. And it is part of our evolution as humans to experience hardship and then to move through that hardship and empower ourselves to thrive despite the survival programming, and then teach that to others. So as way showers, what have we got to be excited about? What have we got to look forward to here? Well, first of all, as this is a new moon in Libra, it's all about relationships. It's all about the way we either self-sacrifice, or we are so in such self-interest that we don't recognize the impact of our wants and needs on others. So anything to do with 3D contracts, so relationships that are not serving you anymore, particularly partnerships, romantic relationships, business partnerships, anything to do with families, bloodlines that are holding you back. So inheritance, rules to live by, maybe religion you've been born into, culture you've been born into, the expectations of how you are accepted in your particular family. All of that is coming up. And it's like, does this serve me? Is this for the highest? Am I willing to speak up and say, you know what? That doesn't resonate with me, and I'm not prepared to align with that. Sorry. Are we willing to be the one to speak out and not necessarily be the voice that everyone wants to listen to? Like, are we still so caught up in needing the approval of others that we will self-sacrifice in order to keep others happy? Because you know what? You can't claim that you desire to be an autonomous being, that you are claiming your sovereignty and your inner authority, and then keep bowing to external authority. Now, that doesn't mean you don't live by the rules of the land. Ultimately, you can take it upon yourself to not, but it's a big battle to fight. And if you don't really know what you're doing, good luck with that. Know the rules so you can break them. Know the way things are presently so that you can then make different choices. And what we carry on forward is different to what has happened. So one of the things that I've noticed in terms of physical symptoms is a lot of us have been, it's been true for me as well, feeling very, very sort of ethereal is the best way I can describe it, like feeling less dense, less in our physical bodies, more in our energy bodies, maybe feeling a little bit lightheaded, maybe feeling not so grounded. The pranic body, the etheric body, these are strongly these are where there is this clearing going on. So there is this space. And what's happening is we're having to unhook from our energetic and our physical beings, wherever there have been hooks placed into us that limit us, that suppress our truth, that force us to toe a line that we don't agree with, or that ultimately leave us in a position that, if we don't contest, is actually going to be very damaging to us and to others. Now, with the next full moon coming, we're going to be hosting the full moon healing and the manifesting circle on the 16th of October. The Aries energy is new energy. It's fire energy, which is interesting because obviously it's Mars and the lunar energy together, the full moon. So it's clearing away the battle energy is what I'm seeing with the full moon coming. It's clearing away the addiction to fighting for the sake of fighting. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't have to stand up and basically challenge injustice and be a wall, really, a boundary to those and that which would seek to dominate and control for its own means. So when I use the word fighting, I'm very cautious about how I use it, because I see so many of us, well-meaning, fighting for change, right? Fighting for equality, fighting for justice, fighting for things to change in the political system, for example. And it is a wonderful time. We are in the apocalypse. We are in the time where truth is being brought to light, where uncomfortable truths have to be made visible, where that which has been hidden is being brought to the surface. And there are lots of wonderful human beings that are doing that work. Is that your job? Is it my job? No, my friend, it isn't. We're here to envisage. We're here to embody the frequency. We're here to vision the new earth reality. and to support those that are here for us to work with, to clear their trauma, to clear their suffering, to clear their expectations of creating more and more toxicity in their lives, and to actually take their own leap of faith and journey over from the 3D paradigm to the 5D paradigm, because the bridge is the mind. You can imagine there's an earth reality here and another earth reality here, and the bridge is this rainbow bridge that takes you from struggle, survival, dog eat dog, Darwinism, all that kind of story, to this new world where perception is reality, imagination is reality. As we change our view of the world around us changes. As we let go of our fears and we meet and lean into the discomfort and the things that we prefer to avoid, we transform them because we bring light to them. The bridge is your mind, and it's what narrative are you going to feed? And I see so many empaths, light workers, starseeds, way showers, like having done half the work really, really well into a beautiful standard, and then the other half isn't done. And this is to do with trusting others, and it's to do with not expecting the path of grace and ease, which is the new earth reality, to mean everything's always easy all the time. Choosing the path of grace and ease in the highest timeline is actually about choosing to face difficulties with a different mindset and a different resolution inside. So it doesn't mean that there ain't going to be shit to deal with. Okay, there's stuff going on in my world, there's stuff going on in lots of other people's world that I know that is pretty, like, you could even say it's like, this is evil, like this is unpleasant, this is really the worst of the worst, it's blatant lies, whatever it is, true for you, right? And how am I going to meet this? Am I going to seek to destroy? Am I going to seek retribution, vindication, an eye for an eye? Or am I going to ask for the highest good of all and the win-win-win in everything to be what I align with, to be shown how to stand in this and stand for that which is love, and to allow that which is not love to fall away? We know that hurt people hurt others, right? We know that everyone has their own perception that influences their experience. But the energies of now are inviting us to see where we're still hooking into old paradigms, where if we're prodded in the right way, right, in our weak spots, we will react according to our old self. We will react according to old paradigm humanity. And where we're actually going to say, you know what, I am angry, I am triggered, I am frustrated, cancel, because I don't want any of those to be true for me right now. But ultimately, to claim the truth of how you actually feel and then go, what do I want to do with this? Because that's what's happening. We're going to shift fighting, the love of fighting, the addiction to fighting and battling, to actually just holding the line in regard to divine justice and being willing to pressure the existing narrative to shift into a narrative that is for the highest good of all. That's what the full moon is bringing to us. This new moon solar eclipse is asking us presently to look, and I mean, you can find this out for yourself. You can discover which house Libra is in for you. So in terms of the houses and astrology, I know very little. I'm not an astrologer myself, but having spoken to someone who is, they let me know that if you know what your ascendant is, your rising sign, that is house 1. And then you can work along. And if anyone else hears this and has other ideas, please put it in the comments. Let us know. Let's all grow together. But house 1 is your ascendant. And then you count through the zodiac wheel to find where Libra is, and whatever house that is, that's where you're having the biggest shift. And we get the opportunity to create a new intention, a new narrative. But why don't we set the intention right now that actually this Libra solar eclipse is bringing to us the invitation to align all our relationships with sacred union, because Libra is about relationships. So I am aligning all of my relationships with sacred union. How does that feel? I am divine sacred union. I am commanding all the relationships that I have in my physical reality align with sacred union, transmute into sacred union. And that anything that no longer serves me, any connections that no longer serve me, I let go of with grace and with ease. I dissolve these connections, whether it's beliefs, expectations, behaviors, patterns of addiction. And I also invite myself into a place where I'm willing to let people go that ultimately are not serving my highest path, because I'm choosing to embody the divine design timeline that I chose for myself. I am choosing to live as my highest self, co-creating a new earth reality. These are the intentions that allow this new moon solar eclipse in Libra to really like give you the gifts, because divine sacred union includes divine legacy, divine inheritance, divine wealth, divine prosperity, divine love, divine co-creation, divine consciousness, divine well-being. Yeah, that's our legacy. Divine to me means connection to soul. I don't really mind what you believe in terms of God, source, atheism. Can we just touch base with the fact that there is one fundamental difference between humans right now? Are they plugged into their soul consciousness, or are they not? A divine human is, and a non-divine human isn't. Now, they can be a divine human the moment they decide to plug in and switch on. Okay, it's like there's no, like, it's not an exclusive club. You can come join us, but you do need to plug in to source, to your soul consciousness, and you need to switch that on. Now, if you want help in that, that's exactly what I do. That's what my coaching programs are about. And I'm so excited that come November, I'm going to be starting a 12-month mastermind that is really designed for the leaders, the architects, the way showers of this new earth, that are ready to clear pre-birth influences, birth influences, early life influences, and transmute them. So rewrite their story from surviving to thriving, and actually to then do what is required in the conscious mind and the subconscious to align with their superconscious, their highest self. Now, I've seen so many people go through this process, and there are 3 levels to it. One of them is the personal fulfillment fast track. The other one is liberation from limitation. And the other one is actually fearless, loved up, and limitless. I'm going to bring all of that together in a year-long master heart that's actually going to relate to the star maps. Okay. So I thought today, as most of you don't know what these star maps are, these are to do with my book, Star Piece 101, which someone asked me, when's it going to be available for sale? Hopefully by the end of this month. I'm intending to have it out for sale for the 31st of October. There's some significant rewrites going on. So this baby. And I'm just going to pick one star map. Okay, I'm going to pick one star map just to see the most relevant message for us today. These are going to be made into oracle cards. So let's just choose this one. I'm just going to do that. Okay, so the 12 stages of creation star map. Okay, so I've just put my finger on where it is. That's the star map that is most relevant to what's going on right now. And we are in the conception phase. So fusion of a point of focus and the energy to materialize it, when 2 become 1, a mutual desire to co-create an idea into being. So this brings to me want and need. There are 2 other keynotes that I wanted to speak to before I bring this to a conclusion. So one is the relationship. As I said before, I was touching a base on moving from a sort of fatalistic concept of living, of humanity, of life, to one where we're co-creators. Now, here's the difference. They both coexist. What you energize is what you basically experience, right? So the fatalistic timelines are for those who are basically shrouded in fear, giving their power away to external authority, and stuck in the mind. These are the people that are the easiest to read. If you're a psychic, if you're a tarot reader, you know, you can tell them what's lying ahead for them, and it's more or less likely to occur because they don't shift their mindset. There's a rigid idea of how things are, and it's according to their programming, and it resonates with the programming of the collective. When you're a conscious co-creator of your reality, your timelines are constantly changing according to your frequency. So it's essential that you embed your frequency that you desire to see materialize in your life. And you recognize that there are things in your control and things that are not. And so what you do with this is you align with highest timeline, highest good, win, win, win. And in any situation where it seems like you're facing another obstacle, you keep realigning with that. And that allows timelines that are not helpful to collapse, and to allow that highest timeline to be co-created for everyone involved, right? But if not everyone's playing by the same rules, if you've got some involved stuck in 3D, 4D consciousness and others in 5D, ultimately everything will entrain to the highest. Now, I'll give the example of astrology. I recently heard Pam Gregory talk about the fact, she's an awesome astrologer, by the way, how we interpret astrology as changing. Whereas it used to be much more fatalistic. Now it's like, okay, this is what happened before when we had this kind of alignment. What else is possible with this kind of alignment? What else could be shaped through our consciousness with this type of alignment going on in the sky? Because what I got told with Star Peace, as above, so below, as below, so above, peace is already true in our universe. It's already there. But here on Earth, we're all running around like headless chickens, okay, going, the sky's falling in, the sky's falling in, we're all going to die, we're all going to die. It's like, no, that's already happened. That's already happening, and it's already happened. And actually, what is being called on here is to activate the peace codes in our personal lives. So we radiate the energy that then creates a global peace movement. That's what Star Peace is about. So if you love that, please put hashtag Star Peace in the comments. Help me make this go viral. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And this relates also to parenting and to the divine. So in my coaching, I've often said to people that our relationship with the divine is very much governed by the way we were parented. You know, where we parented in a way where we were punished, we had to be good, where if we didn't act a certain way, we wouldn't get this and we wouldn't get that, where we parented in such a way where we were just left to our own devices and not really given any guidance. If you look at Eastern and Western religions, you'll see that the Eastern ones tend to be kind of a little bit more etheric and less kind of, you have to be this way, whereas the Western ones are more dogmatic, and there's more kind of clear clarity. This is the way to be good, this is the way to be bad. You go to hell if you don't do this, you go to heaven if you do this, right? And it's like, I've really seen, I had this epiphany a couple of days ago between the way we were parented, and I've known this for a while, and therefore our expectations of how the divine will meet us. Can we trust Father God? Can we trust Mother God, or Mother Divine, Father Divine? Is Mother Divine conditional? Is she jealous? Is she in competition with us? Does she really want to give to us unconditionally? Is Father Divine conditional? Do we have to give sexual favor? You know, if you've had some kind of abuse in your history, you know, do we have to give something up that is part of our autonomy in order to receive love, praise, recognition, attention, or even material supply? Now, what's happening in the collective on planet Earth is that parenting is evolving. We're learning what is toxic parenting. We're learning what leaves an imprint that is actually damaging to children. And we're learning how to parent in such a way where we empower our children, okay? Not spoil them so that they have no sense of how to be in the world, but actually empower them to create the reality that they want. Now, my sense in what's going on right now is, as we're evolving our concept of parenting, we're also evolving our concept of the divine. You know, this idea of a devil, really, it didn't even exist. It's been created, and yet so many people believe in it, and Satan and so on and so forth. So then it becomes true, right? There's so many misinterpretations. Who could say what's real, what isn't? Who could say what's right and what's wrong? Well, we're rediscovering. But if we just engage with the concept that there's this omnipresent energy that is pure love, unconditional love, that it's not a human, that it is a frequency that when we tap into and we choose to align with and we choose to embody, we're a very, very different version of ourselves, different DNAs activated. We see the world through different eyes, and we realize that life loves us and wants us to be happy, and the universe truly is benevolent rather than hostile. Now, if your early life conditioning tells you the opposite, it's a difficult one to resonate with, even if you desire to. Right? But this is what I'm seeing as evolution of parenting. So is evolution of the divine occurring. And this then brings us to want and to need. So I don't know about you, but I know I was taught that having needs was acceptable. Having wants was greedy. What's your truth? Tell me. What did you hear about wants and needs when you were growing up? Please put it in the text box. Because what's ultimately happening, as I see it, is when I come to a place where I just need something, I'm coming from a place of lack. Now, we all need food, shelter, water, warmth, connection, right? We do all need these things. That's true. Fundamentally, it's absolutely okay to need things. But when you are choosing to be a conscious co-creator of your reality, please don't come from need. That's going to thwart you. If you come from want, from desire, you are choosing to command a shift rather than begging for it. Praying isn't about someone saving you. It is about giving thanks. It is about choosing to align with something different than what's going on. It's about calling in the guidance and the support. Greg Braden talked about praying being giving thanks for something as though it's already happened. right? Pray rain, give thanks for it. It's already happened. It's in the secret. Often though, what happens is, please help me, please save me, please this, please that, so I don't have to, X, Y, Z. Well, all that I don't have to is what we want to face. When we know we have a way to face all of the I don't have tos, we feel confident, courageous. We start to command a shift in our reality because we know we can deal with anything. So in my world, I don't teach that law of attraction and manifesting is all about everything being peachy and rosy all the time. It's about knowing that you can deal with any challenge and you can align with the center, the divine. There's no fear of death because we don't die. We are eternal beings. Yes, physical reality is a different subject, but it's learning to really decide what you are going to align with. And that is what this solar eclipse is about. Letting go of any misalignments and aligning fully with your divine design timeline. So it is about sacred union. It is about collapsing all relationships that are no longer serving into sacred union and asking for that to be removed that's not for our highest good, and that which is still there for us is there for us to embody, to give thanks for, to make peace with. Now, again, the wanting and the needing, that subtle shift will help you move out of duality and the density of 3D, 4D mindset into, what do I want to happen here? What do I want to experience? What do I want to offer to the world? What do I want to allow into my life? And it will cover your needs. Your needs will help you to get clear on your wants, right? So let your needs be a platform for your wants. But when you are putting out your intentions in this universe, in this world, in your reality, come from want. Wouldn't it be nice if? I'm so excited that I am allowing, I am welcoming, I am surrendering to anything you desire, surrender it to the highest good of all and the win-win-win and everything. So I'm going to leave this here. And I am just going to say to you that I've got some really exciting things coming up. At the moment, if you haven't yet participated in your highest timeline new moon masterclass, it's on rozyglow.com/events. I'll put the link in the text box for you. Also, the sign up for the full moon healing and manifesting circle for the 16th of October is also there, and you can sign up. At the moment, there's still the replay of the last full moon, so you can purchase that. There's 2 price points. It's 11.11 or 22.22. Please do support us by giving the 22.22 if you have it, because we do 50% of our profits go to grassroots efforts to actually support the clearing and the healing of trauma. So we're not preventing it. We're not propelling it into the next generation. And what else was I going to say? So those 2 things are going on. I am also going to be a speaker at the Soul Speaks event, so the Awakened Leaders Summit, which is in Brighton on the 18th and the 19th of October. I highly recommend you come. It's 2 days. It's not taking time out. This is where you're going to learn from some of the most powerful women in this world today, the most amazing trailblazers who are supporting other women to free themselves from the karma drama and the lack and the not feeling enough and playing small, so that we can all be the trailblazers that we're here to be in this world. And that is what I'm talking to. I'm talking about what it means to be a trailblazer, succeeding in the co-creation of the Thrive paradigm, on how and what it actually takes for you to be able to actually thrive in this new earth reality. What are the key fundamentals? How do they apply to your business? How do they apply to your personal life? And I'm going to be sharing with you that 3-pronged scientific backed formula for peace, which applies both to our personal lives and to the collective, and how we can create peace in one generation. So I'm really excited to do that. I'm one of the sponsors of this event. Again, if you want to participate, come and join us. It's well worth your time and your investment. You're going to come away with so much. We're all offering gifts, to develop things moving forward, and I'll be there all day, both days. So if you want to come and chat to me, it's a perfect opportunity. Everything is available through the events page. So if you would like to know more about any of those, then please go to rozyglow.com/events. And if you would like to find out more about the Master Heart that I'm offering, the Awakened Leader Master Heart, which will be starting in mid-November, then please do book yourself a desire mapping call or a sacred union call, which you can access through the website rozyglow.com. If you go to the homepage, you'll see on the banners that there's this invitation to be able to then join me in a call. And it's a complimentary call for those of you who are serious about wanting to do some work, and we can look at where you are, where you want to be, what's really in the way, and how we can actually deal with that. For now, thank you so much for joining me in this beautiful energy update. Please do share with others. This is very, very different, I know, to the other kind of energy updates I'm seeing out there, but I'm very passionate about supporting those of us who are here, holding the frequency codes of Paradise Earth, who are code keepers, who are part of the 144,000, yeah, that have come here to embody divine sacred union, to embody being the heart-centered, soul-led divine human, to have the information required to move through the fog, to move through the challenge. There's been a real valley of shadow of death energy going on recently. And I went through it a little while ago. And that's why I'm like, you know, just trust the process. Don't give up. Keep aligning with the divine. Don't give up on this. Trust yourself. You're going through a thick fog, and every part of you that is trying to resist you really stepping into your power and remembering the energy, the mastery that you have, is just really scared. They're just echoes of the past. They have been through so much pain themselves, they don't want to revisit it. But you know what? As you bring light to every one of these parts of you, they transmute. Okay, they evolve, they are freed. So you are remembering, you are reconnecting to soul fragments and even aspects of your human self that was so traumatized by previous experiences that they disassociated. You have to bring them back in. You have to, for a temporary moment, just remember, oh yeah, this is why we separate. This is why I disconnected. So that you can actually bring the light to them, absorb the darkness, the shadow in the light, and therefore add more light to your overall being. That's it. So much love. Thank you. Give me your comments, give me your questions. There's loads of videos on TikTok daily. Okay. And also, what else are we finding? Loads of videos on TikTok. I'm on Telegram, where you can join me for my daily readings, where I'm offering the Rainbow Gems readings. You can download the PDF of the Rainbow Gems from RozyGlow.com, the Thrive Paradigm audio. There's so much support for you. Please just use the resources that are available, and let's get you to the next step. Thank you so much. So much love. Take care for now.